Hello, welcome. I'm Tessa James, your divorce coach and mentor.
And I'm Susan.
It's always such a great time to spend time with you, Susan.
Thanks.
Now, you have a background in psychology, as do I.
Yes.
I always find you to be a voice of reason in this crazy, beautiful world.
Thank you.
Well, sister, we have an informative podcast for you today. I'm so excited to be here and talk to you about the benefits of partnering with a divorce coach.
Yes, Tessa. So tell us, what is a divorce coach?
All right. A divorce coach typically is a certified professional who provides guidance, support, and practical assistance to individuals contemplating or in process or even beyond the process of divorce.
Okay, so that's what a divorce coach does. Can you share some of the services a divorce coach can provide?
Yeah, sure. A coach has a responsibility to discover, clarify, and align with what the client wants to achieve. So I encourage client self-discovery. I elicit client-generated solutions and strategies while holding the client responsible and accountable. In addition, I provide emotional support. And because divorce is an emotionally challenging experience, I provide a supportive and understanding ear for my clients. I help my client navigate the emotional turmoil that often accompanies the end of a marriage. I can also provide communication assistance. I help my clients communicate effectively with their soon-to-be ex-spouse, their children, and other relevant parties, always advocating for my client.
I think this is critical. Communication is, it's like the glue. It's like the mortar for all relationships. And it's always broken by the time people reach this point. So bolstering somebody, helping somebody with this skill set, I think is really critical.
Yes, absolutely. And goal setting and planning is involved, and this is super important. I help individuals set realistic goals for the divorce process and develop a strategic plan for achieving these goals. They may involve helping my clients prioritize their needs and identify what they want to achieve during and after the divorce. I'm also a resource and referral assistant. Some of my clients actually refer to me as their divorce concierge. I tend to envelop my client in a bubble of support. I have a network of professionals such as lawyers, financial advisors, therapists, and mediators to whom I can refer my clients to. I also provide information about community resources and support services. I do decision-making support. I'm my client's sounding board and thinking partner. I help my clients make informed decisions about issues such as child custody, financial settlements, and property division. And I provide guidance on evaluating options and weighing the potential outcomes of different choices.
Wow, that's great. And it's a lot, and that's a good thing. And you need a lot when you're going through a divorce.
For sure. For sure.
And a little more, the Unhitched but not unhinged podcast and the content posted by Tessa James is presented solely for general informational purposes, educational purposes, and entertainment purposes.
And I am a professional coach, and I am your friend, and I always have your back.
But not an attorney.
That's right. I am not an attorney. One of the other things that I do with my clients is help with co-parenting guidance. So I can provide guidance on how to co-parent effectively, minimize conflict, and prioritize the well-being of their children. Overall, Susan, I think a divorce coach aims to empower individuals to navigate the divorce process with greater confidence, clarity, and emotional resilience. I do not provide legal advice, but I do work in conjunction with divorce attorneys to support clients through the emotional and practical aspects of divorce.
So a divorce coach can fill a lot of roles and you provide numerous benefits. That's great. What I do want to mention really quick is your website, www.trustandtessa.com. So please check it out if you want to have a chat with Tess. And so can you tell us a little bit about the advantages of working with a divorce coach?
Yeah. Some of the benefits of hiring and partnering with me There are numerous benefits. The primary advantages of working with me is the client gets emotional support. We know that divorce can be an emotionally challenging experience, and I offer support and guidance to help individuals navigate their feelings and emotions during this difficult time. Very rarely will a family law attorney have the abundance of time to discuss the emotional side of divorce.
And plus, they're billing you for all that time, right?
That's right. Yes. Typically my cost per hour is quite substantially less.
Well,
Yeah.
even if you were so inclined, most attorneys don't want to hear it. They don't want to
That's
hear it.
that's true. Yeah, I can help provide clarity and focus as they make important decisions during the divorce process, and I provide a non-judgmental space for clients to explore their options. So a divorce coach can help them make, more informed choices.
And that's super helpful. And during a divorce, it's everything can be so all consuming. I can attest that my divorce was not something I really wanted to share with my family, friends, certainly coworkers. I mean, it's a lot of private, personal stuff.
Mhm.
So I didn't want any of that out there. And so it's helpful sometimes to have um, uh, somebody unbiased, specifically there to listen and
Mhm.
guide.
Mhm.
Guide me with a little rationality, but certainly advocacy. I mean, I get that.
Yeah, definitely. And a client really wants to protect their friends and family as well as protect themselves. And there is something real about divorce conversation fatigue, and that can definitely set in. Do you know what I mean by that?
Well, I do.
Yeah.
I do. When
Yeah.
you lean on there's only so many people you can lean on with really a lot of private, a lot of embarrassing
A
information. Could
lot of
be
personal
financial,
information. Mhm.
infidelity. It's stuff you don't want to share. And I've had friends sort of avoid me a little bit. I've been on that side as well.
Or they
You
can
know?
overshare.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
absolutely. So I can assist in helping manage conflicts that arise in the divorce process. For example, Susan, my clients' most complex issues tend to be child custody and division of assets. So I sit down with my client and together we discuss the goals that are within these issues. The result of this is my client feels a lot more in control because there is a strategy in place.
Mhm.
And together we make sure the goals are realistic and the client gets an idea of what the process and end all may look like. One of the biggest benefits to my client is reduced stress. I mean, going through a divorce can be incredibly stressful, and I can help my clients manage their stress levels by providing tools for coping with emotional challenges of divorce. This also leads me to discuss the importance of self care. I
Mhm.
cannot stress this enough. And self care can look very, very different to different people. When we are in a chronic state of stress, we don't tend to treat ourselves kindly. And we can tend to be neglectful in areas such as providing ourselves with good nutrition during a time of craving comfort foods. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
So, being kind to ourselves by providing our bodies with nutrients and being health focused is vital. Loving ourselves through attending therapy sessions, providing self care through a simple bubble bath at the end of the day, simple exercise like a walk around the block, maybe 15 minutes of daily meditation. Together with my client, we can plan out a daily routine and focus on reducing stress. And what the client then tends to feel is empowerment. So when there's a plan in place and their needs are being met, the I basically help empower clients by helping them build confidence and self-esteem as they navigate this process. I provide support and encouragement to help clients feel more in control of their lives during such a tumultuous time. And this can be created through simple daily affirmations, a morning chat on the phone with me. I do provide that to my
Mhm.
clients, or being active and participating in a daily workout schedule.
Yeah, and all of this self-care is super important, but
Mhm.
on not but and the practical guidance that you can provide on a wide range of issues is really important too,
Mhm.
such as creating a post-divorce budget, organizing financial documents, and developing a co-parenting plan.
For
All of
sure.
this forms a roadmap, and I think definitely when you have a roadmap,
Mhm.
you know this tunnel that you can go through in divorce can be long and it can be dark. But if
Yeah.
you have that if you have a roadmap and you know that there's that light out there,
Yeah.
it can reduce stress because you know what you're going through,
Yeah, if
you
you
know?
think about the time or a time when you were just so underwater, you're feeling so underwater and under so much stress, and somebody comes along and helps you, put it on paper and
Mhm.
put a plan in place, you really do start to feel more in control of your life.
Absolutely.
So important. Ultimately, summing it up, a divorce coach can play a valuable role in helping individuals through the divorce process by providing emotional support, practical guidance, and empowering clients to make informed decisions as they move forward with their lives.
So I have some questions for you, Tess.
Oh boy.
So it's sort of a two-part question. So can you share um, a brief story about one of your clients? Of course, no names, right? And also share a little story about yourself. How did
Mhm,
you get into this? Why divorce coaching?
mhm. I will be happy to. Susan, as you know, this requires me to be vulnerable. And I'll tell you, if you haven't seen Brene Brown's TED Talk on YouTube about the power of vulnerability, I encourage you to do so. There's actually a famous quote on being vulnerable. Vulnerability is not knowing victory or defeat, it's understanding the necessity of both. It's engaging, it's being all in. Vulnerability is the birthplace of love, belonging, joy, courage, empathy, and creativity, and it is the source of hope, empathy, accountability, and authenticity. And did you know that last year authenticity was the number one word used? Just a little fun fact.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So, my story. Give you a little glimpse into my world. I have been married twice.
Open up that crazy bag of hair.
Oh boy. I have been married twice. My first marriage was short term and resulted in two beautiful sons. My second marriage was to an abusive alcoholic narcissist with a lot of highs, but unfortunately a lot of lows. A roller coaster to say the least. In both marriages, I experienced loneliness, depression, and stress. I have experience with high conflict divorce, high net worth, going through a 730 evaluation, being on a low income community program called WIC,
Hmm.
that's Women and Children.
I know it.
So I could feed myself and my children while trying to recover child support. That was a very tumultuous time. I also have experience with a judge making a decision in one of my cases as a move away case. And those can be very difficult cases and can take time for the courts to rule on. Always keeping the best interests of the child is a top priority for the courts. But I'll tell you, most devastating was a few years ago when I was married. I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And it was during this time I really experienced just how abusive and unsupportive my current husband at the time was. I was totally in it alone. And while going through treatment, I was at my most weak, both physically and emotionally. But I was determined to file for divorce when I was strong enough. And that's exactly what I did. So I basically strategized for a little over a year. And that's what I did. I filed for divorce. I found an amazing family law attorney. And I have now become the coach that I wished I had years ago. So I would also like to mention a percentage of my clients' fees are donated to a breast cancer foundation. And you can actually get more information on that on my website, trustintessa.com. So two different spouses, two very different divorces, and I think I do have a lot to share. So the big why I do this work is I want to be of service and I want to see people truly feel empowered. And I really do have my clients back.
I know you do. And I think when people have a passion to help others, it's often born out of our own experiences and struggles.
Mhm.
So thank you for sharing yours. We're both women and moms.
Mhm.
We can't help but look through life through those lenses. So, how often do you have dads reach out to you?
More often than some people would think. I think that there are a lot of divorcing dads that don't have a lot of support. I think most women
Mhm.
are able to look and find those resources. But a lot of men, sometimes they don't reach out for help
Well,
and
we have a
support.
different type of social circle.
Mhm.
Like our village is very different from a lot of men's, and I
Yeah.
think as isolating as it can be, being with um, a spouse that you don't want to be with, I think it can be actually more isolating for men.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. And it's not all men that cheat.
hmm
Not all husbands cheat. And it's not all husbands that are the narcissists. I mean,
hmm
it goes both
oh,
ways.
for
So,
sure, for
mhm.
sure.
So this may surprise some, but I tend to have a good amount of male clients, mostly divorcing dads. And here is a bit about one of them. So I have a story, mid 50s man, 30-year marriage with middle school age children. Okay. And our partnership actually began a year before he filed for
A
divorce.
year.
His top priority was shielding his children from divorce trauma. So we worked together so that he understood the divorce process, especially coming from a divorced mom's perspective. And he had a clear roadmap of expectations surrounding his goals. Therapists were put in place, a financial advisor was engaged, and we interviewed divorce attorneys together and formulated an exit strategy. As a result, he was very well prepared and he picked his battles based on his goals, and he tended to save a lot of money.
That's really important
Mhm.
because, the divorce process, the court system, you can have a 5-year marriage, you can have a 55-year old marriage, and
Yeah.
it can tend to just devolve into dollars and cents.
It can, it can, and
Yeah.
it's not just men that care about how much money they're gonna spend on a divorce,
Oh,
it's
for
women
sure.
too, but yeah.
Well, there's gonna be life. There has to be life for both parties afterwards.
Yes.
So, but I think that's a wrap.
Mhm.
Um, Thanks, Tessa, for being vulnerable. That's not easy. And explaining the benefits of partnering with you as a divorce coach. And for our audience, thanks for tuning in. If you're interested in chatting with Tessa, please visit www.trustintessa.com for a complimentary discovery session with her. And we look forward to speaking to you again.
And have a positive and productive day, and remember, I've got your back.